I used to be married. I'm divorced now. Going through. Yeah. Anyone divorced? Yeah. All right. There you go. Oh, we got a good handful. All right. That's good. Yeah. My divorce was interesting. Are you guys familiar with OnlyFans? Yeah. So so I had a friend call me up, and he's like, "Hey, Doug, you know your wife?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know my wife. Yeah." He's like, "I think she's on OnlyFans." I'm like, "Joe, you were the best man at my wedding. Is my wife on OnlyFans or not?" He's like, I bought the video, but I thought it was like a doppelganger kind of thing. And I'm like, "Well, so what are you telling me? You're trying to buy videos that look like my wife on OnlyFans?" He's like, "I don't know." I needed to tell you. I'm like, "All right, fine." So I make a fake account. I go on OnlyFans, and I find my wife. My wife is on OnlyFans, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on here, right?" So I go on there, and she's like selling full-blown porn videos, like orgies, no condoms, like all this stuff. I know. Relax, man. It happened to me, not you. You're good. It's all good. Feel bad for me. It's all right. So I'm like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "This is crazy." So I make the fake account, and I go on there, and I buy $10,000 worth of her content. Yeah, I bought all these videos, $10,000 worth. But I put it on her credit card. Yeah. So now she thinks she's making all this money, but just has to pay it back with interest and a shitty APR. Now who's getting fucked? Yeah. No, but it was. But then I confronted her about it finally, and I was like, she denied it at first, and I was like, "Oh, really? Let's have a little screening. Let's do a little Netflix and overreact chill night, you know?" So we sit down and I show her some things, and she's just like, "I'm speechless. I'm like, you make $150,000 a year at your job. I'm like, what do you need OnlyFans for?" And her response was, "It's brunch money." I was like, "Brunch money?" I was like, "Let me get this straight. You're showing your tits for grits. You're spreading your legs for eggs. You're literally doing bottomless mimosas. That's what you're doing?" I was like, so confused. I was so pissed. Like we had a huge fight, and I just left. I was like, "Oh, fuck this." I left her. Yeah, I did it. And thank you. Yeah, one person cares. I left, and that night I left. I was so defeated. I was so sad. I was so depressed and pissed off. For some reason, I drove to a Denny's, and I just sat there alone. And I ordered a moons over my hammy and sat there. And then it didn't make anything better because when the food came, I just looked at it and kept thinking about her moons over some guy named Manny. But I'm in a better place now. I'm in a good place. I got out of that situation. But I'm trying to date again. It's hard to date as a 43-year-old. I don't really know how to do it. I forgot how to do it. I went out with a 27-year-old a couple weeks ago. I don't even think that's appropriate. I don't know, you know, but I live in LA, so maybe, I don't know, it's considered dating older there. But I went out with this girl and we're talking and stuff, and then like where she's like, "What kind of music do you like?" And I'm like, "I like Bruce Springsteen." She's like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "I'll teach you." No, then we keep talking, and then eventually she just stops me and she's like, "Dude, you should fuck my mom." And I was like, "Is she here? Are you involved? How does this work?" You know, I don't know. Yeah. So then I went out with the mom, and that was weird because like we're talking and she's like, "So you find my daughter attractive?" And I was like, "No." I'm like, "She's just a kid. You know, she's cute for a kid. Not that I'm into kids. You know, there's no right answer for that. It's just. She's like, "I usually don't introduce my children to men that I'm dating until a year in." And I'm like, "I totally understand that. So let's just erase that I went out on a date with your daughter, right? Let's forget that, right?" And she's like, "Okay, good." And then we just sit there, and she's like, "So do you have kids?" I'm like, "No." And then I'm like, "Do you?"